reward yourself. Tell yourself, okay, I said that I was going to do it. I did it. Tell yourself that you are going to, go to the gym like at 5 in the morning. Actually go to the gym. Once you are building these trust with your subconscious, that it starts to learn that you are actually keeping your word. So now when you go from the small things, just remember your subconscious main job is to prove you right. And that's why it's so dangerous when it comes to bias, because your subconscious will want to prove you right. So once you start doing these small things and actually following through, then you start scaling out. Now, when you tell yourself in 5 years, I'm going to be worth $1 million, your subconscious believes it. Because now there is that trust. And your subconscious main job is to make you right, to prove you right. So now you are going to start operating at a whole different frequency because your subconscious is on board.
Yep.
But if you don't
focused on the
exactly, if you say I'm gonna wake up at 4, shut off the alarm, wake up at 7, you say you're going to go to the gym, you don't go to the gym. You said that you were gonna eat nice and healthy, you don't. Your subconscious, there is no trust, and you don't control your subconscious. The subconscious it has a mind of its own. So now, when you tell yourself in 5 years I'm gonna be worth $1 million, your subconscious is gonna tell you, bro, you can't even wake up with your alarm.
Yep.
That's not gonna happen.
Go back to bed.
Let's start with the alarm part again.
Let's go back dreaming about Mariah Carey. Go back to sleep. That's more real than these thoughts. And that's true. That's so true. And your brain, right, is always trying to trick you. It's always trying to find the easiest way, the safest way to do everything.
Less risk possible.
Right. And so by doing what you're talking about, by rewarding yourself after every small, medium, big goal, you're starting to reprogram literally the neuroplasticity that you're changing in your brain. You're literally changing the chemical balance, the physiology of your brain. Literally, you're changing it by rewarding yourself, because by rewarding yourself, you're releasing the chemical happy juices, the endorphins, the serotonin, the oxytocins, all that stuff. You're releasing that stuff and rewarding yourself by doing that. So the next time, like Israel was saying, when you want to hit a bigger goal later in life, your brain isn't focused on all the steps that it takes to get there. It's focused on what? Oh, I wonder what reward we're going to get for this big goal that we're going to tackle right now.
Yep.
You're conning your brain. You're distracting your brain from the process to the success part. Let me worry about the planning. Just keep your mind you just keep the brain busy on the rewards and the overall motivation that I need to get through the consistency. Boom.
Yeah. Like I was watching Jordan B. Peterson.
Yeah. Oh, he's great
today. Yeah. And he was talking about how many and the power of the law of attraction and the mindset and stuff like that when it comes to your goals. And he said there is one thing that it is a constant. It never changes. He said, think about something that you were wanting to get back in the day that you have now. So 10 years ago, you seen yourself getting this nice house and having a nice family. Well, when you were thinking about it back then, you had some steps in your mind. Okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and then you get that house. And he's like, and look at how it actually happened. Completely different. You got the same end result through a complete different path. It's never the same as you would have imagined that it would have happened. And I kind of put myself in those shoes and I thought about multiple things. And it's true. I imagined that it would happen this way, but it actually happened. It went all the way like this and then ended up in the same end goal, just a complete different way. And the point of that is when you are setting a goal, especially like a longer term goal, don't worry so much on how you are going to like happen. Just try to imagine it happen, because at the end, from A to Z, there is multiple variables. So don't get yourself locked in that you are going to take this road, make a right, make a left, and you're going to get there. Because in reality, you can go all around the block and still get there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's true. And that's just the power. I mean, Napoleon Hill talks about it. Charles Schwab talked about it. Rockefeller talked about it. The power of pretty much thinking things into reality.
Yep. Law of attraction, right? So to speak.
Yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes to like a lot of things that you like have helped me with in terms of like, okay, so imagine like be as realistic as possible when you are, imagining yourself in that position that you want to be, paying attention to the details around you. How does it smell? Like everything is realistic as you can. Yeah. And the more data, again, back to data, it's all about the data.
Yeah.
The more data you provide your brain with how it's going to be, the more likely it is to happen. And people think that it's such like a silly thing, right? Like a lot of people think it's a silly thing. Like, but sometimes we do it like subconsciously. Like I remember being a teenager in Cuba, never been out of Cuba. And, I would sometimes just think and like sit there and think of how great would it be to, be in the US. And I would imagine like the big highways and the skyscrapers and like the modern cars and all this stuff. And, I was 14 years old. Yeah. Then at 20 years old, I find myself in the US getting here on a complete different way that I would have ever expected to come here. But at the end, I'm here, and you start like driving down and it still happens to me to this day. And I've been in this country for 12 years. Like I'll be driving, let's say in Tampa, and I'm driving on the highway, passing through downtown, and I get like goosebumps because it's like a deja vu. It's like, wow, dude, like it's really here, Like I was thinking of how cool this stuff would be 15 years ago.
Crazy.
And now I'm here. Like I teleported like 15 years in time.
Crazy.
And it's crazy. And that is
how you got there. Exactly. How you got there. Exactly how you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
However, which way it happened, it happened.
So so the point on that is when you are focusing on your goals, and again, especially your longer term goals, not something that you're trying to do next week, because you have a lot of control over such a short term. But when it comes to long term, don't worry so much about the details on how you're gonna get there. Worry about once you're there. In your mind, get yourself already there at the destination.
Exactly.
Don't worry about the traveling, because it's not going to happen how you expect it to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be complete.
And if you do worry about the process, then focus on step 1. Don't focus on step 2, 3. No, focus on step 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, right? Micro steps. Just like you were saying, right? Everything that we live on is based off habit and micro steps, right? Literally micro challenge, micro goals, right? Just like we're talking right now. Our mind is thinking about the next thing we're going to talk about. That's a micro step, right? If we get up right now off the chair, we're thinking about where we're going to go first before we get up. That's a micro step. We live day by day through micro steps and habits, AKA our habitual reality, right? And by changing your small habits, they make huge impacts. Just like you're saying, they bring your confidence up. They bring down your stress levels. They increase your self-esteem. Now you have better thoughts. Oh, better thoughts mean bigger rewards. Bigger rewards mean bigger goals. Just by changing the small little things about yourself. Simple, small hinges swing big doors.
And something that is funny, right? And very interesting. And I'm not 100% sure on like the root cause of it, but I do believe that it has something like very much to do with the whole habits and how your brain reacts and gets ready to that next task.
Your
I've,
emotional intelligence.
yes, I have pretty much proven to myself. So I get up at about 5 in the morning. I go to the gym. Then when I come back from the gym, I get in the computer and trade. I have proven to myself that if I sleep in,
Hmm.
don't go to the gym, and I told myself, okay, I'm just gonna trade first and then go to the gym. 9 out of 10 times, horrible trading day.
Ah,
Horrible
right.
trading day.
The self-awareness about yourself. Look at that.
It's like I'm
Listen up,
getting,
people. Listen up.
dude, and I'm huge on self awareness because
Yeah.
it's paramount for the development of any system.
Hmm.
It's like what I tell my guys, especially like directly like talking about the stock market. If you are in a trade, if you are in a trade and you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling this, that, let's say the trade goes bad, you need to push away from the desk and think, okay, why was I feeling like this? Or even recognize it. Like one of the examples that I use a lot when I'm talking about self-awareness is when I was a new trader. I could have like the perfect plan laid out, everything was set up in my screens, just waiting for that 9:30 bell to hit. And that 9:30 bell, ding, 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 my heart rate was rocking. My hands would get shaky.
Okay.
And I used to take horrible trades because I would be so nervous. And it was related to that bell sound.
Yep.
So now I said, okay, so this is happening. I can be on the perfect state of mind at 9:29 with 59 seconds. Once that ding, ding, ding goes off, my heart rate goes crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy,
Bye,
right?
bye,
It's
bye,
crazy.
bye, 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 bye.
So I recognized that,
Yeah.
and I started doing something so simple. I
How'd you
turned my
recognize
speaker
that?
off
How'd you recognize that?
because it
What led
kept
to that?
happening.
Okay.
And
You
I
kept
got to the
reflecting.
point. I got to the point that I would expect it. I knew it was going to happen, and it was. I think it became one of those self-fulfilling prophecies
Yeah.
because I used to be like, okay, it's 9:29. Fuck, it's coming. It's coming.
I know it's coming somewhere.
So it kind of like became like that self-fulfilling prophecy. So
Yeah.
I say, you know what? A lot of these things that happen into our life deep down are directly connected to some sort of catalyst.
Yeah.
We are reacting to something,
Exactly.
even if it's subconsciously. You are not doing it on purpose. It still happens, So what did I do? I shut my speakers off. Never happened again.
Perfect.
It was the freaking bell. Like, and it's something so simple that you can be like, come on, bro, that's just silly. But it is that. And now you can take that to a lot of different areas in your life. How you react when somebody is raising their voice at you.
Yep.
Does that
Is it a
change your
childhood
state of?
trauma?
Yes. Does that trigger something? Like, how do you react if you are on a red light and it turns green and you are distracted and the guy behind you starts honking at you? Like, do you get pissed? Why do you think that is? Is it because is it like an ego thing? You don't want somebody to tell you what to do? Because there might be some other issues beneath that you might be able to work on once that self-awareness start bringing these issues to surface. Because
Exactly.
a lot of people just live on autopilot and assuming everything is a coincidence or it just happens. But in reality, there is something way down that is causing that. And if you identify that one thing, you might make your life a lot better by fixing a very small thing, like shutting my speaker off when the market opened.
Exactly. You know, one thing that came to my mind was like, okay, I'll be like, okay, so every time you hear that, you know, go, you know, for me, I'll be like, okay, every time I hear that, I'm gonna pull up pictures of pizza because I love pizza, right? It makes me happy. It brings
Yeah.
joy, right?
Yeah.
So every time I hear that bell, I'm gonna look at pizza right away.
Yeah.
Every second, every day, you know, every day.
So
I'm gonna do it 5 times a day.
So now you are
Taking
disconnecting.
ownership. You're not reacting
Yeah.
to life. You're
Yeah.
taking ownership of it.
You are disconnecting that catalyst from the
Exactly.
negative emotion, and you are attaching it to a positive emotion.
Yep. Exactly.
But the thing is, most people don't even pay attention to that type of things.
Or they ignore it 100%.
Well, yeah, they
Or they're scared
it.
of it. Yeah. Or they're scared
They,
of it or fear. Yeah.
you know, Jordan B. Peterson says that one conversation that everybody should have is to sit down by yourself on a room and pretty much tell yourself what you are doing wrong. What can you do to get better?
Mhm.
And 100% of the times, and this is a good example. If you ask somebody right now, do you know of something that you can do starting tomorrow that is going to get you more healthy? They're going to say yes, because they know. You can ask somebody else. You can ask a person that is absolutely broke. Do you know of one thing that you can do tomorrow that will make you an extra $5? They can list you 10 things. So deep down, most people know exactly what the problem is, but they are too afraid to let it out because they are living in that safety net that as long as we don't address it, it doesn't exist.
Or they care too much what other people think or what they
Yeah.
might say, because now you're going against the norm. You're going against your group of friends. You're going against your family members. You're going against the traditions of everybody else. You're going against the cultural normalcies of life because
Yeah.
you want to do what makes you happy, but you can't do that because other people are going to judge you, or you think other people are going to judge you. It's crazy, you know. Life is crazy.
Dude, and guess what? Like, people are going to judge people, and I think it's a little bit of like a hypocrisy. Like, people, we are as people, we are naturally hypocrite in some sort of level. Everybody is, you know, everybody is. And one thing that people tell me, I'm judgmental, and I say yes, and you are too. I just admit it, and you don't. You know, everybody, people are like, you shouldn't judge anybody by their appearance. And I'm like, that is something that you just say to fit in the cute little box that society has drawn for you to sit in and be quiet. But in reality, every single human by nature will judge a first interaction with a person based on their appearance. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. So we are judgmental creatures. Some people just don't want to admit it because, again, it's an ugly thing. You shouldn't be judgmental. You shouldn't be judging Jimmy because, you know, he's perfect the way he is. His mommy told him, you know. But you can and you see it in that sense of people being hypocrite, because the same person that is saying that you shouldn't judge people by the way they look or their physical appearance are outside of Target and get approached by a homeless person, and you can see the disgust or like fear in their face. So why are you scared of that person? You don't know that person. Exactly. You don't know the background of that person. You don't know what they've done. You don't know nothing about them. You are just assuming that person is something based on the way they look.
You are judging a book. You're writing a review to a book you haven't even read yet.
Exactly. And that is something that we all do by default.
Yeah, it's true.
You are more than likely to have an interaction with a person that looks clean, well dressed, than with a person that is dirty or it looks like, like raggedy. Because when that person approaches you, the dirty one, you are gonna assume a couple of things right off the bat. He's gonna ask me for money. He's got some sketchy going on. He's probably a drug addict. Those things are just gonna flow in your brain by default.
Yeah.
Now, if you see a person that looks clean, well dressed, smells good, you are gonna be like, oh, how can I help this person? Maybe he's lost, or maybe he just has a question, or like just be nice to people. That's when you use the be nice to people. But when the raggedy, dirty one approaches you, you are not using that be nice to people. You are trying to get away from them. And again, so are you
Hypocrites.
judging him? Yes.
Yeah. It's only convenient, right? When it's convenient to you, and those
Exactly.
people right there, those are the people who have insecurities, who have fears, and they're always going to have limitations. And the best part, I think, from this side that we can see is that was us at one point in our lives.
Yep.
And that could have been the rest of our lives. That's
Yep.
the scary part.
You know the whole fake it till you make it type of deal. I 100% agree that it's a thing, because I remember, dude, like being a private in the army, super broke, and I will go to like stores like Marshalls and TJ Maxx so I can buy like a discount like Calvin Klein shirt to go out, and we will go out, and whoever will look at us would assume that we were doing pretty damn well because we look pretty good, But in reality, I have $3 in my checking account.
Right. Yeah.
But you are like,
we were sneaking bottles in, drinking in the parking lots before, saving
exactly.
money any which way we could.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. But people look at you in a different way when you look certain way. The interactions are completely different. And something very interesting, and that's why I decided to open a fitness coaching program that I started a couple of weeks ago, because I consider myself a very confident man. Like, I will look anybody in the eye, have a full conversation with a stranger. Like, I am very, very confident. Like, and I see that as an asset. Okay, it's not something that you should be embarrassed of saying that you are confident. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I did this funny case study that I posted on Twitter, and I did it with my wife, Liz, and I told her, every time we go to the store, which is usually Target, every time we go to the store,
you don't say.
Every time we go to the store and we walk cross path with a dude that is in peak physical performance, let's say it's a jacked dude, look how they react. Every time we went by one, they will look at me in the eye. They will either nod at me, say like some sort of way of like saying like greetings. They will either nod at me or say what's up. Complete strangers.
Let you know that they're there.
Exactly. But it's like a lion in the jungle letting the other lion know that he's there. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I say, and now look at the opposite. When we walk by some dude that is like in not a good physical shape, either completely overweight or something.
Basically, the national American average person.
Exactly. That person will naturally, I was purposely doing, it was trying to make eye contact with them. They will look at me and look to the floor. And that was over about a sample of like 20 people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's just how like caveman-ish we are.
Yep.
And people don't realize that. Like, why every single freaking gym guy, jack dude, like even like from 3 like holes down, makes eye contact with me and goes like this.
Yeah.
Like that's just like an alpha thing. Like,
and I guarantee the other person you were talking about who didn't look at you was thinking, oh, this guy's arrogant.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. See, that's a big difference, is that people confuse somebody's confidence with arrogance.
Yeah.
right? And that's the biggest factor where people who are super confident are never arrogant. They just understand themselves enough where they know their self-awareness, they know their emotional intelligence, they know their confidence, they know their resiliency, and they know exactly where they're going. They're not just going somewhere because they need to be around people. They're not
Yeah.
just going somewhere because that's what's on their mind right now. It's like, no, I'm here because I'm at the store because I need these few things. And then after
Yeah.
the store, I'm going to go back and do these few things. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do these other things. You see the difference? When you have goals, when you set a goal, like you're saying, right? You have a direction now. When you have
Mhm.
direction, your mind is constantly busy. It's constantly synapsing. It's constantly triggering. It's constantly trying to fight against you, and it's constantly trying to work with you, right?
Yeah.
So it's that constant battle, all because you set a goal. That's it. It starts with that, and then you can pick and pull, and everything else will gravitate towards you. So that's awesome that you're starting that business. So tell me a little bit more about the business and how it ties into your investing business.
So pretty much the whole purpose of this business is to get people in shape. Okay.
Okay.
It's
What's your motto?
obvious
Do you have a
that
motto?
uh-huh.
Do you have
Oh
a motto?
yeah. Get
What's your
rich,
motto?
get ripped, baby.
Get
Rich,
rich, get ripped, baby. There it is. Sold.
So dude, is like, and again, it goes back to helping people and
Yeah.
sharing what I know. I've been going to the gym for so long, and not just a random gym goer. I dig very down when it comes to nutrition and biology and how things work and different processes within your body. So I am very well lectured in the fitness and nutrition side of things because I've done it for myself, and it's something that I'm very passionate about for so long, even like before the stock market. But
Okay.
I've noticed, like, especially lately, like with how washed down society is, people are living their lives so miserable that is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. They are just following the little playbook that they were given. Okay, so this is what you got to do, and so I just want to help people feel better, look better, because it is a fact. When you look better, you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it goes back to your subconscious.
Who doesn't
When
want to
you look
look
better,
good and make money?
exactly, you look good, you feel good.
And you
So
have the
I
sauce
want,
for it.
yeah, and I'm even because, and again, it's not, and that's the difference too. I like to do things completely different, just like I did with the stock market. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it with the fitness coaching. It's not only fitness because I want to work with somebody that just wants to level up
Mm-hmm.
in all aspects of life. So it's going to be fitness, mindset, working on their confidence, because I truly believe that there is so much attached to your confidence level that people don't realize. When out on my last job, I had a managing position. So I would interview people for jobs. If you walked in an interview, the first thing that I would try to do is make eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
If you were that guy that would just avoid my eyes, you wouldn't make it to question two. You know,
Simple, right?
it's simple,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just eye contact, right?
Yeah.
If I'm shaking your hand and I'm making eye contact with you, you need to make eye contact with me. Like, let's make sure real quick that we are both present in this moment.
Yeah. Let me see your
Okay?
personal and your professionalism real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to help people again with their fitness, their nutrition, and people to realize that you don't have to be a fitness person to be in shape. I've never competed in a bodybuilding show. I never will, because I'm not about that. Respect for the guys that do, but that's not my thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be like 7 days a week in the gym, all sweaty, like the normal like gym, whatever people picture in their head,
Yeah.
benching 300 pounds. It's a lot more simple than that. You can get in the best